Welcome again, everybody, and thank you for joining our global webinar day. Our topic today is Convince Your Boss that you need a new iPhone, introducing the new StableNet Mobile App. My name is Dietmar Kneidl, Director of Sales Europe with Infosim, and I will be your moderator for today's event. Joining us from our headquarter office here in Würzburg, Germany, are my colleagues Dr. David Hock, Senior Consultant Research and Development, and Eduardo González, Developer and Consultant with Infosim. So good afternoon, David, and buenos dias, Eduardo.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dietmar.
So David will guide us through the presentation today, while Eduardo will take care of the live demonstration of the StableNet mobile app. But before I hand over to David, I just wanted our audience to know that all of you are automatically put on mute to keep down the background noise. So for us to be able to see and answer your questions, please type them in the questions window at the bottom of the GoToWebinar application. We will be taking care of all of your questions either directly in the chat during the webinar or at the end in our Q&A session. Also, please be aware that this event is being recorded and all of you will be informed via a short email tomorrow on how to access that recording. So that's all things from my end so far. So I'd like to go ahead and turn things over to our presenter, Dr. David Hock. David, you ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, Dietmar, for the introduction. Welcome again, everybody, from my side. And I will start right away with the first point of the webinar. Why will the StableNet mobile app make your life easier? Actually, I think I'm stating the obvious if I say that smartphones have changed our everyday's life. Just consider the simple example of writing emails, reading emails on your smartphone. It's not just that you can read these emails on your smartphone, but you can also directly answer them to speed up the workflows. You can also forward them and delegate work to other people to keep the processes running. If we look at the example picture shown here on this slide, we actually see a guy that is just on the way to leave to the airplane, and the last things he's doing on the mobile phone before entering the airplane is probably checking the emails, maybe checking the hotel booking, looking at the weather forecast at the destination. So this makes life really easy for him to check all these things just before leaving to the airplane. And actually our idea is to add another thing to these possibilities that make life easier, to also give the possibility to check the network status. We introduced the StableNet mobile app, StableNet in your pocket, and actually we want to add StableNet to the things that make your life easier and that you can do from everywhere at any time. You could not just think about the person sitting at the boarding gate waiting for the airplane to depart, but you could also think about a network engineer that is being on call on a 24/7 base and that needs to be available in case any outage happens in the network or in case of any alarms. So we want to give this person the possibility to take the information about the network to the restaurant, to the gym, or wherever he is going, to have it every time with himself. For this purpose, we have put the key features of StableNet to the fingertips. We also provide a highly intuitive design, since it needs to be possible to have all these key functions in a very usable way. So for instance, you could think that you want to use the app just with a single hand while you are already heading with your luggage in your hand to the airplane, so you still want to check something on the smartphone and you want to have fast access to all relevant things. Of course, traffic and power usage are always an issue as well. This actually brings me to the next point of the webinar. How are we actually maximizing the user experience? Here, I want to start with a metaphor. Look at the picture. You see a dog that is actually dressed as a bee. Somebody wants that dog to be a bee. But if I look at that dog, he's actually not really happy with being a bee. He doesn't want to be a bee. And I would take that as some kind of metaphor for a rich client application that somebody wants to be a smartphone app. If you want to provide an app on the smartphone, it's not just about taking a rich client application and compiling it on a smartphone. It's much more than that. Actually, what really makes life easier to people using their smartphone is providing an adequate app for an adequate device. This in particular means 2 points. The one thing is you need to provide the adequate function. It's not just about providing the adequate functionality in the pocket, but it needs to be used in it needs to be possible to use it in a good way. Just think about booking a flight ticket on a normal desktop website using your smartphone. I think this is very bothering or even impossible. You need to have special optimized websites for smartphones to be able to buy train tickets, hotel bookings, flight tickets. Another thing is to make the app well usable on a smartphone, you need to choose the most important functionality and put that one in a good usability. Just take the example of writing emails. You don't expect from a smartphone app to be able to write emails with different font sizes, font types, different font colors. You just want your email app on the smartphone to give you the possibility to write emails, simple text emails, and to send them to somebody to keep the processes running. Summing up, I would say that for smartphone apps, usability is often more important than functionality, and just in case, it is better from time to time to leave out some functionality and to only put the key features with a good usability. Going a bit more into technical detail, how we realize this with the StableNet Mobile App, I want to say some words on the front end and the back end. On the front end side, we actually currently have an iPhone mobile app, iOS app. It can also be run on an iPad. And actually this app is a native app completely written in Swift. Apple Swift, to those who know, is the newest development framework proposed by Apple. And actually using Swift, we can make sure that we directly work with the OS own method so that we can get the best performance out of the device. Also, Apple Swift offers an improved performance and stability compared to the previous Objective-C from Apple. On the back end, we are using the StableNet REST API and the StableNet servlets. Actually, each app, to be well functional and usable in a good way, also needs to have a powerful backend. And actually, the first good thing about our StableNet REST API and StableNet Web Servlets is that they are all usable via a unified access with the standard HTTPS protocol. So the good thing about the HTTPS protocol, which you are also using when browsing a normal website inside your company, is that it is normally always possible to use this protocol through firewalls, through VPNs. It should not make any trouble, since normally that normal HTTPS protocol is not blocked. And it's really as simple as this. If your mobile phone is able to connect to the web portal of your StableNet installation, you will also be able to use the app with your mobile phone. Furthermore, the backend offers us the possibility to provide simplified access to all the key StableNet features, the key functions, and the relevant information. So it is actually not the app that is representing all, it is actually not the backend that is creating all this displayed things that you see on the smartphone, but the backend is providing the information in a well-structured way, and the app is taking care of showing it. I would say that this is enough text for now, and I would actually hand over to Eduardo to show the live demo to show a bit more what is actually the functionality of our app. So Eduardo, please take over and go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, David. So let's take a look at how the app looks like. As you can see, once you've opened the app, you'll find yourself into this login screen where we have a list of preferred servers that you can, of course, edit anytime, adding new ones or deleting old ones. But before we do any further talking, let me just log myself in so I can show you some more features. So as you can see, once we have logged yourself in, you'll have a nice overview of the current open alarms in our system. They're all ordered by date and severity, and it's quickly seen because of the color represented on the left side, as well as a quick description name. The whole app has been designed thinking about providing a way to check the status of your network just as easy as you would check your mail. So if you ever use the mail app, you'll find StableNet app really easy to use. Simple tasks like, for example, refreshing the alarms list, we just need to pull, simple as that. Let's say, for example, we want to take an action over an alarm. We just have to swipe left and three options will show up. Starting from the top right one, for example, let's say we have already taken care of the alarm and we want to let others know. We could just quickly type in whatever we want to, and this would be right there at the moment in the system. But we're not going to do that for now. The same applies to the mail. We could just quickly send a mail to our support team so they can go into more detail. But maybe the case is we're really busy right now, and there's really nothing we can do about this alarm. So we can tell the app to remind us later today. For example, let's say call John about this alarm, because in the corporate world, it's all about delegating to others. But now let me show you some of the cool features we have also built. For example, let's say we want to see what's going on in our alarms in Berlin. I could just quickly type in the description name, and I will get the list of all the alarms related to Berlin with the different severities. Let's just, for example, click on the first one. This will take us straight to the root cause, where we can see the severity and a nice overview with more detailed information. We can also see the symptoms related to this alarm, and if we go there, we'll have a nice view similar to the previous one with different severities and different dates. As you can see, the whole navigation is done in a hierarchical way. Let's click, for example, on our device information. Here we can have some more detailed information about the device, like the module, operating system, etc. Or for example, we can see also the logical device location and the neighbors. We can just zoom in or zoom out, so we have a more detailed view. But sometimes things need to be worked out in place. For example, hard disk may have failed and needs to be replaced. And here's where the maps comes in. If we click on the map icon and the geographical location is available on the system, this will take us straight to the device location so we can find it and go there. If we click on the right arrow, this will take us straight to the Maps app and find a route to the device. This is really handy for our workers. But now let me introduce you to the status view. We all want to know what's going on in our network, but also in a graphical way. So we thought it would be really convenient to have all your charts, analyzer charts, measurement charts, weather maps, etc. that you currently have on StableNet. It would be also great to have it on the app. But at the same time, we wanted to make it as customizable as possible. So you could easily add or delete the charts that you wanted to have in the app so it adapts better to your working flow. So let me show you how it works. Let's say, for example, we have our regular interface open in our browser or in our Java-rich client. We could just quickly scan the chart we want with our QR code reading functionality. And easy as that, we could quickly load all charts we wanted, and they're already there. We can also put the device on landscape mode so we have a nicer view. And last of all, let me remind you, these are not just static pictures, but they're actually StableNet charts. So they get updated over the time, so you always get the latest information about your system. And this is all from my side.
All right, thank you very much, Eduardo. And let me change back to David. Here you go.
Thank you very much, Dietmar. So actually, now after we have seen some of the functionality of our app, I want to say some more words on the backend and the underlying infrastructure. As I already mentioned, we are using the StableNet REST API and the StableNet servlets. The StableNet REST API is actually offered with license modules. There are three different license modules. There's the workflow integration module, which is especially good for the handling of jobs or for user rights management. So for instance, you could look at the currently enabled jobs, disable jobs, enable jobs, start them manually, abort them, confirm them, unconfirm them if you have a 4 eyes principle. So you can do a lot of different things with the jobs you know from StableNet. The reporting and visualization module is especially good for all the event handling and the automation of weather maps. So for instance, you have an easy way to create weather maps based on XML structures. You can download existing weather maps, modify them, and upload them again. Finally, the inventory and links module is the best, is especially meant for all the device and link handling in the network, in your StableNet. So for instance, you can do device operations like get a list of all devices, read out device information, modify devices, the same for links. Besides the REST API, there are also the StableNet servlets. StableNet servlets are there for a long time, and I'm sure most of you are already using them for many years. So StableNet servlets actually put a lot of the functionality you know from your rich client and web portal GUI to simple web links that you can open in your browser and send that information to somebody else. And the same kind of servlets is also used to add additional information to our app. One good thing, as I already briefly mentioned before, about both the REST API and the StableNet servlets is that the server connection is analogous to the normal web connection. So this actually means you can do a very simple test if your smartphone will actually be able to access to use the StableNet mobile app once you will get it from us. The simple test would just be to use your smartphone to access the web portal of your current StableNet server, and if that works, you can also be sure that the mobile app will be able to connect to the REST API and the servlets. Should we put some handouts here, Dietmar? Or?
Yeah, just give me a second. While you mention it, I'll upload them. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. I will say 2 sentences to the handouts then. So actually we have a new functionality in our GoToWebinar that gives us the possibility to upload handouts. And actually we have prepared two handouts. The one handout is summarizing basically the use cases that Eduardo has shown in the live demo. And the second handout is actually showing more information on the different REST API license modules we have. I can see in my overview here that the first handout should just have appeared for you to download. So please download it and have a look at it afterwards. It gives you more information on the background.
And the second one should be available now as well.
Yeah, see that as well. Thank you very much. So once more, the StableNet REST API has been added to StableNet starting from version 7, and it offers a lot of possibilities to integrate with other systems, with third-party CMDBs, all kind of dashboards. Yes. This actually brings us to the final point of our webinar. When can you actually get the mobile app for your StableNet infrastructure? There are actually 2 possibilities to get the mobile app. The one thing is you want to wait. In this case, you can wait for the official first release, which is of the iPhone app, which is planned for September 2015. This will be probably somewhere around the partner workshop taking place here in Würzburg. An Android app is also part of our roadmap. If you don't want to wait and you just can't wait any longer to get the app, we would really like you to join our beta program. Actually, if you run the latest StableNet version and you get the REST modules licensed, you can start right away to use the mobile app to give us your feedback, and maybe you can be part of the further development of that app. We can also provide you with temporary licenses for the REST module, so please contact your local StableNet dealer. Of course, as I said before, to be able to use the mobile app, you need to check that you have access to your StableNet server from the device you actually want to use the app with. Let it be your iPhone or iPad, Wi-Fi, 3G, 4G, VPN. Yeah. Summarizing the webinar, I want to give you 3 key takeaways that I want you to take home with you. The first thing is that the new StableNet smartphone app is making your life easier. It is simplifying your daily workflows. As an example picture here, I just show again the smartphone that is scanning a QR code from the rich client GUI, and the underlying chart will directly appear in the status view of the smartphone. The second thing I want you to take home is that with the smartphone app you have control and visibility from wherever you are. So here again we see a screenshot where you have the most important features for the event handling in a similar way as you use normal email apps on your smartphone. You can directly answer to somebody in the sense you can acknowledge an alarm and send further information, you can forward it, you can put a reminder for yourself. And the last thing, which is maybe even the most important thing, is that it's actually not just the app, but it's actually the entire REST API that gives us the possibility to offer this functionality to you. The REST API is actually much more than just the showcase of the iPhone app that you have seen here. It offers a lot more functionality. It is really powerful and can be integrated in other systems as well. I want to finish with this slide just to show you that of course we still have all the other GUIs and interfaces you already know from StableNet. So there is still the rich client, which gives you the full functionality, and there is still the web portal. And of course, whenever there's any functionality which is just not part of the app due to usability reasons, you can still open this functionality in the web portal from your smartphone. Thank you very much. That's all from my side. And I would hand to Dietmar for the Q&A.
For the Q&A session, yes, thank you very much, David. All right, I was busy answering all those questions in the background because there were quite a number of them. For one of those questions, I would like to give Eduardo one more go at the control screen here, because there were actually 2 people who wanted to know how that thing with the QR code works. As you've shown a QR code that is labeled on our desk here, that's not where QR codes usually pop up right in the middle of your desk. So maybe, Eduardo, you can go ahead and re-explain how and what we can do with those QR codes.
Yes, thank you, Dietmar. This example we use here was just for the live demo, but the real use cases for the QR code reading functionality is that when we are on the status view, we can actually add as many charts as we want from the rich client, and they're all generated right from your StableNet software. We're adding each day more features, so you can have all your charts and measurements generated automatically for you using our Java client.
Okay, so that's where you actually can get a hold of those QR codes and then scan them with the mobile app. Okay, thank you very much, Eduardo. And I'm going to leave the screen with you just because it's just such a nice view. There is a couple of more questions. Let me just sort them out real quick. There was one question that was probably going in David's direction, and that is about the mobile app again. Will that StableNet mobile app work only with the REST interface you've been introducing, or is there another way to do this?
So the answer is a definite yes. It is only working with the REST API, since, as I mentioned before, the front end is just one thing, but the REST API is the actual key thing in the backend that leverages all this functionality and that enables us to provide move this functionality to a mobile app. So you could rather change totally the front end, implement your own one based on the open REST API to get it whatever look and feel you want, still using the REST API, but you can't just leave away the backend or change the backend.
All right, so the licensing of the REST API is kind of the technical prerequisite to use that iPhone app.
Yes, that's right.
Sorry, okay. There's an additional question. We've said already that the Android app is on our roadmap. We don't have a timescale for that one yet. And there was one question about a Windows Phone app. So they're out there. There's Windows Phone users in this world as well. But I'm sorry to say this is not on our roadmap at this time. So Android, yes, we're planning to do that as well, but no plans for Windows Phone app, so I'm sorry for that. There was another question about what is the iPhone minimum configuration that is needed in order to run this app? This is probably another question for Eduardo.
It's a good question. We've considered, considering the app is running in Swift, we thought the minimum requirements would be iOS 8 and the iPhone 4S.
Okay, so anything above that, so all the new iPhones, they're of course able to run that application. All right, that pretty much answers that question. And there is a final question that I thought might be of interest for everybody else. Again, talking about the REST API, so that question goes in David's direction as well. Are there any other showcases or any other applications that are available for that REST API at the moment?
Yes, so actually we are also working on the new web portal and already integrating a lot of new features using the REST API. So there's definitely something to come soon and to be shown where the REST API is used as well and all its power.
Okay, well, thank you very much so far. So thank you, David. Thank you, Eduardo, for the presentation and the live demo. I'm just about to upload a PDF version of the slides we've used today. Let me change back to David just for the final slides. Just see your screen, David, please, again. Thank you very much. So as usual, a little hint towards our website. We have a lot more information on our website available for you. So if you need anything else, please feel free to browse the website and download anything at your convenience. So I wanted to again thank everyone for joining our session today. We have pretty much reached the end of our webinar today. As I've mentioned earlier, a recording of this webinar will be made available to all of you via email. And again, if you have any other question, feel free to contact myself or any other member of the staff with InfoSim. The handout for the slides are now available as a handout, so you can download those as well. And we will keep the session open just for a few more minutes, so you can download all the handouts, or in case anyone from our audience decides to type in the question, we'll take care of that as well. Oh, and by the way, when you're leaving this webinar, you will be presented with a short questionnaire that'll help us to improve our webinars and also pick the right topic for future webinars. So please do us a favor and answer those 4 or 5 questions. Well, I guess that's all from us today. Just asking my 2 colleagues here, David, anything else we need to add? Eduardo, anything we forgot?
Since nodding is not enough, I say no.
Yeah, you got to say something. Nodding won't help.
No, that's all from my side as well. Thank you, Dietmar, for the good.
All right, so thank you very much. Again, thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.